We need to examine the maid's body in the cellar.
To find out who killed her?
To be sure she was murdered before we start pointing fingers.
Rory's not one for cleaning up after himself.
This dumbwaiter is huge.
It is. It goes all the way to the second floor, but judging by the spiders, it's not used very often nowadays.
The spiders?
Ugh, don't ask. I guess we'll have the key. Unless we can find another way in. I think I might have an idea how to get into the cellar, but I'm not sure you'll like it.
If it involves this filthy dumbwaiter, don't even think about it.
You said you'd help me, so help me.
On my terms.
I can't fit in there, and I see no other way into the cellar.
You're asking me to put a lot of trust in you, given the circumstances.
You can trust me, and I will do my very best to learn to trust you.
All right, then. Clothes can be washed. Lovely. Pull me back up! I need something to open the doors from the inside once I'm down there.
This should do it.
Going down?
Good luck.
See you in a minute.
Dr. Farber. Is everything all right? Leah! Oh, if anything's happened to her.
You needn't worry about me. I've been to stranger places than this castle. Follow me. Her neck's been broken, and with some considerable force, it seems. Her necklace looks like gold, albeit a plain design, and it's missing any form of pendant.
Still, well beyond a maid's salary. It...
Your
Where's that sudden
stag
draft
is
coming
here.
from?
My little doe.
Little doe? Not exactly the usual way to address the staff. The missing pendant. He threw it into the blood-filled basin.
Mr. Gordon? Speak to me, please. David, can you hear me?
Her clothes. He ripped a seam open.
We're all here, sir. All down in the dark. Something's coming. The attic, sir. She's in the attic.
What just happened? You look like you were in some kind of trance.
Perhaps the lack of sleep is affecting me. Or the visions that you'd think me insane if I described them to you.
You need to learn to trust me. I am on your side, remember?
So you say, but I remember you locked my father up too. A tiger can't change its stripes. The seam really did rip when she tried to get away from him.
Ugh, that's horrible.
You're not the one with your hand in it. French. I don't speak French.
I do. It says for Clara, forever yours. Who's Clara?
I don't know. Yet another relative, perhaps?
We should ask someone who's been around here for longer. How did you know it was there? The pendant, I mean.
If I told you, you wouldn't believe me. A hunch. Eddie gave this to her. We should ask him to his face just what his relationship was with her.
This isn't another ghost story, is it?
Look, you wouldn't understand. I can't...
What I do understand is that we cannot accuse a man of murder without proof.
They seem to be a house full of carnivores.
If you'd just like to wait out here, sir.
I need to speak with Eddie.
The young master and her ladyship are otherwise detained.
Might as well try moving a mountain out of the way. May I remind you, this is my house?
May I remind you that it is not yours yet.
Fair enough. If Eddie really gave her that pendant, he might be her killer. and I might not be losing my mind. There's no doubt about his loyalty, nor with whom it lies.
What is it? I'll get you back.
Stop monkeying around. Come with me.
I'll come inside in a bit.
Don't go.
Can I just have a few
It's
more
not a request, Carol.
Don't worry. I'll be fine.
What's happening to me?
David? Is everything all right?
We should make haste.
Oh, stunning. How curious! Come and look at this. Look, they form a clear circle.
This can't be a fluke.
Well, looks like one of the stones is missing.
A heavy enough stone to weigh yourself down with. I've never seen a rose like this before.
I have. The gardener, Rory. He brought some down from the glass house.
Something's carved into each one. That's an unusual looking rose. I noticed one lying by the side of the loch.
Aye, that's been me. A flower for the flower of Scahandoo, Cecilia.
My aunt? They're for her?
I grew 'em for her. She loved the roses, did Cecilia. No the red ones, though. Made her think of blood, ye ken.
Forgive me, but wouldn't it be more fitting to place them on her grave?
Why, she's no there, is she, laddie? That's not where she rests. And I don't much stand by your modern god.
Rory, what happened to her? What happened to Cecilia?
I'm not in the mood to open old wounds, laddie.
There are some strange markings carved into the stones on the shore.
Runes, aye. I'm old-fashioned, I suppose. Still hold to the old ways.
Superstitions don't gain validity just by being believed in for a long time.
I'd watch that. Your precious science doesn't have all the answers, lassie.
May I have some of the roses, Rory? I'd like to place them on Cecilia's grave.
What's she to you? You didn't ken her.
No, I didn't. But she's family. And besides, Father always spoke fondly of her. He would even smile as he talked about playing in the gardens with her as a child.
He did he? Aye, well, that's good to ken. I should have some left in the glass house.
Do you know who Clara was?
I know who she was, aye.
And?
Young Eddie is her bairn. Lady Mallory, as she was. She stayed on in the house after Victor passed, but she wasn't here much before. I didn't ken her that well.
I'll speak to you later, Rory.
Aye, I'm sure you will, laddie. Sorry, lassie, but you can't go in. It's for family only.
Just hold on a moment.
No, it's okay. I quite understand. You go ahead, and I'll wait here for you, if I must.
Aye, you must. I know, it doesn't look like I have green fingers.
These are dead as dodos.
Hard to raise anything beautiful here, ever since Cecilia's gone.
Are these...
Aye, Cecilia's roses.
They're beautiful.
I like to think so.
But they seem to be the only thing that grows here. Can you tell me about Cecilia? What was she like?
She was a lovely lassie, but she had more than her share of troubles.
Grandfather Edward.
You ken well enough, son.
You said she wasn't in her grave.
Aye, that I did.
Did she drown?
She did. Killed herself. Her body was never found. Now all I have of her is my memories. And they are not what they were. And this. Looking to break some more locks, laddie.
That is exquisite. Cecilia made this.
She made it, aye. For me. Girl must have cut her fingers 100 times doing it. On the thorns, ye ken.
You are unworthy of the name Gordon.
Get away from her, you coward!
He scratched the word Baron into her arm. What a monster.
Get lost!
You monster!
Who is that old woman? It takes courage to confront Edward like that. The saboteur Edward used. They ended up in this corner.
They lied to me.
Who did?
All of them. It's me.
What just happened?
I could ask you the same thing. You started to talk to yourself. And then you were throwing your arms about like you were fighting something. I couldn't see what. You started bawling and the lassie came in to see what was going on. She tried to settle you, but you just went for her.
I saw an old lady. She wore a long, flowing dress. Her voice was strong, determined.
Sounds like Rosemary. She was Lady Margaret's mother.
Was Cecilia not able to have children? Did that anger Grandfather Edward?
Maybe you can see well enough too, son. Maybe you can. It wasn't her, it was her husband. He was the bother. Couldn't, you ken?
I think so, yes.
Aye, well, Edward blamed Cecilia for it, for picking the wrong man for her mate. You'll be fine, laddie. You just need some fresh air. This place can get to ye.
The crack is right there. Edward was furious. Seems like him and great-grandmother Rose didn't see eye to eye. The secateurs should be... Here they are. How could I know? This seems awfully accurate for a forgotten memory.
Trust your instincts, laddie.
David, are you all right?
Am I all right? I should be asking you. I'm so sorry I hurt you. I don't know what happened.
Don't worry. I faced much worse in the asylum.
She's tough. I don't think it's possible to face her. Sorry again.
Maybe don't leave me outside like a naughty puppy next time.
Yes, quite. I think that Edward may be responsible for the death of my Aunt Cecilia. Not directly. She drowned herself in the loch. I think that Edward drove her to it.
Old families usually have a skeleton or two in the cupboard.
Yes, but my family has a graveyard full. I feel like the madness that runs through this family, through these walls, is starting to seep into me too.
I can help you, but you need to open up. You need to start talking to me.
You would not believe me if I told you.
Stubborn, just like your father.
Whatever secret this family is hiding, it's costing lives. Cecilia, the maid. My father. God knows how many more over the years. Are you convinced yet?
We need more than a first name.
The belongings of Eddie's mother. Recognize that?
The necklace. Is that...
A young Eddie and his mother Clara.
I regret to inform you that your husband, Corporal Victor Mallory, number 874511, was killed in action with the enemy on the day of the 14th of September in Ypres. Your husband was involved in an advance against enemy lines. While he and his fellow soldiers fell, the action was successful, and you can take comfort in knowing his sacrifice saved many lives. It was not possible to get his remains away, and he was buried in a soldier's grave. Please accept the condolences of all the company. Yours, Captain Arthur Jones, 4th Army.
Thank you for your last letter. My heart soars with every word of yours I read. I touch the ink and imagine your fingers are just inches from mine, that we can almost touch, that I can almost feel the warmth of your skin once more. Young Edward grows more like his father each day. You'd be amazed how he shares your looks. I long for the day that this terrible war is ended and you return home to us, so we can be a family once more. I shall write to you again soon. Know that until then you are always in our hearts. Your loving wife, Clara.
The date. She was writing this when the death notice arrived. Oh, the poor woman. You see? The necklace was his mother's. He gave it to the maid. The maid!
You're right. We need to speak to him about this. But how could you know this? I can't help you if you don't tell me.
Cousin Eddie might be a murderer. How I draw my conclusions can wait for now. Eddie, I need to ask you about the maid. About Ailsa.
You didn't know her!
I know that you and her were... That is to say, I know you had feelings for her.
What? That's poppycock! You're as deranged as your father was!
David, really? You go too far with this behavior.
The police will be here soon. Would you not prefer to clear this up before they get here in case they link Eddie with a crime?
Now look here, young lady. How dare you speak?
That's enough. Eddie. Her clothing was ripped, as if someone was trying to force themselves upon her.
I would never have hurt her.
My little doe. Strange thing to call the help.
How? It was just harmless fun, that's all.
You gave her this. It was your mother's.
I did. It was.
Eddie!
I was just trying to cheer her up. She has nothing, and I had no need of it. You know she sends... You know she sent most of her money home to her grandmother.
You're a worthless liar. You think she thought being pressed against a dead animal was harmless fun?
How do you know? It's true. Ailsa and I would never have laid a finger on her. We were in love. I helped her with everything, even with her chores. Rose and...
That's quite enough. Eddie, you are obviously upset. And you are not helping, David.
Angus, will you please take the young master upstairs?
As you say, ma'am.
I think you have caused quite enough disruption here. We shall settle this heritage dilemma first thing tomorrow.
I don't think so. I have more questions now than ever. About my father, the maid, this whole damn house!
Have a care, David. Need I remind you of your father's temper?
I would never!
Given the current mental state of Master Eddie, who should be a part of the heritage considerations, any discussion on the topic would be futile at this point. Would you not agree?
Thank you, Leah. Maybe it's a good thing you're here after all.
Impudent brats!
What's going on?
Did you notice when Margaret got angry?
When Eddie mentioned chores involving Rose. What does that mean?
It can only have something to do with Lady Rosemary and Aunt Cecilia, and whatever the maid was doing in the attic.
The attic?
I saw the maid coming down the stairs with a tray, but there's nothing up there but an empty room, or so I thought.
Interesting. What is it, David?
I have to see.
David, wait! You have to start confiding in me, David. What are you seeing?
I'm not sure. Ghosts? Echoes? Memories? I can see my father as a child. It's like he's trying to speak to me.
Perhaps you visited here as a child. Maybe you're remembering stories your father told you of this place when you were young.
You see? I said you wouldn't believe me. If I'm only remembering things, how would I have known where to find the pendant? How could I have known he tried to force himself on her? Unless you think I killed her.
I don't think you killed anyone, David. And you're right. I can't explain it.
So?
So, we focus on the facts as we know them.
Go on.
You saw the maid's body. Her neck was broken. That was the work of a human, not a ghost, yes?
I suppose so, yes.
Lady Margaret knows more than she's saying, that's for sure.
Godspeed getting anything out of that old hag.
No, I know. But Eddie might be an easier option.
Yes. Yes, we need to find him. And make sure Margaret isn't there to interrupt.
I believe she's already gone to bed, but I'll check. You go find Eddie.
Well, that's clear enough.
Well, hello, my dear Elsa. Oh, Sir Edward, you look very handsome today.
Eddie?
Why, thank you. You are as beautiful as ever, my little doe. Oh, mwah, mwah.
Self-made dolls. Ugh. The stuff of nightmares. Eddie, can you hear me? What can you tell me about Great-Grandmother Rose? What did Elsa have to do? Eddie! What do you see here, Eddie?
You'll be quite safe, the little rabbit said to his brothers and sisters. The fox is fast asleep, so the rabbits tiptoed past, and the fox was sly. He wasn't asleep at all. He opened his yellow eyes.
I've warned you before to mind your place. This will be the last time you defy me!
The eyes of the fox, they shone with cruel light as he punched on the rabbits and ate them all one by one. It was only then he went to sleep, his tummy full, his heart content.
I wonder what's on the other side. Is there... no, can't see a switch or lever. I guess not all castles are like Edgar Allan Poe used to describe them. A secret passage.
What do you think you're doing?
That won't be long, I hope. Look after Eddie. Just a little further. Damn it!
That's it. Open wide. Good, good.
I don't want any.
That's all right, dear. Did I tell you that John's son David has arrived? He's as bothersome as his father. Not worthy of this place. Poor Angus will never recover from the sight of John's charred remains. Selfish, selfish man.
Please, don't.
I do not enjoy this, as you well know, but you brought it on yourself. Your son was a good man. You should not have defied him.
Rosemary. Oh my God. She's barely skin and bones. How is she still alive?
I found the hidden switch. It was in the bookcase.
You scared me half to death.
Well, you will insist on wandering off without telling me where you're going, and I just managed to avoid Lady Margaret when... Jesus God!
I saw this.
In a vision.
Edward beat her with it. Used it to cripple the poor woman.
Oh my God. And he hung it there to remind her every day. Take it down.
You're sure?
Do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rose? Rosemary? Can you hear me? Rose? Rosemary, I'm David, John's son, your great-grandson.
Here, try this. No, like this. Gently.
Who did this to you?
Edward. I was bad. I disobeyed.
Disobeyed? How did you disobey?
Cecilia. I tried to stop him. Stop what he was doing.
What was he doing, Rosemary?
Should not have disobeyed. Not disturb him in the old wing. Never talk back.
Rose! Rose! What did he do to Cecilia?
I don't think you'll get anything more out of her. Poor woman. Come on, Lady Rosemary. We'll get you out of here.
No!
We can get you somewhere safe.
I'm safe here, in this room. Safe from the Black Mirror.
The Black Mirror. Margaret has a lot to explain. I think we need to have words with her ladyship. Margaret, we need to talk about...
Lady Margaret, if you please.
Never mind that. What the hell are you doing with Rosemary?
You're one to talk. You're just like your father, leaving nothing but fear and misery in your wake.
What in God's name are you talking about?
You spoke to young Eddie, did you not? Now he's convinced everyone is trying to kill him. He has taken poor Andrew hostage and is threatening his life.
Where is he?
He's taken him to the old wing, and he is armed.
I'll go. I can talk to him.
You will not. You two have caused quite enough trouble already.
We? How dare you, when you continue to worship Edward, even though he drove poor Cecilia to drown herself?
I will not allow you to...
To what? To speak the truth? To say that Edward...
He never touched her! You come here, and you...
No, you. You are the one in the wrong here. You know more than you're saying, and we both know it. There's something in this place. An evil that has plagued our family for generations. Instead of blaming others, maybe you should look closer to home for the cause of your misfortune.
You know nothing. What I did, what I do, everything is for this family. How can you possibly understand?
Please, my lady, we can discuss this later. Miss Farber, you need to speak to Master Eddie.
Take us to him.
This way. Have a care in the old wing. It isn't used, and for good reason. A section of wall fell into the sea some years back, and the rest is falling to ruin. Over there, sir.
Eddie?
No! No! They're after me! All of them! Trying to kill me! No! Please help!
Eddie, look at me, Eddie, just at me. It's going to be all right.
Stay back here. I'll try to reason with him.
You will not. This is what I do. Eddie? Talk to me, Eddie. Tell me what's troubling you.
Troubling me? He is! And David! They all are!
They all are what, Eddie?
Accusing me! They think I killed her!
The maid, you mean?
But I didn't! I didn't!
I believe you, Eddie. I believe you.
Oh, deep and wide. I might make it, but Eddie would see me. I might panic him. He can't see me from here. This might be a way across. Steady now.
Stop wriggling about. You stay still.
Let him go, Eddie. Everything is all right. Slowly, Mr. Holmes.
Come here!
Bloody fool.
If I go any further, he'll notice me. Seems intact. Now for some ammunition. Bits of bone. Should work if I'm careful. Seems intact. Let's hope this doesn't snap under the strain.
Leave me alone! I told you, leave me alone!
Eddie, stop!
What? Get them off me! Get them off!
You okay?
What? No! Hold still, you bastard!
Andrew! Andrew, no!
David? David?
What? What happened?
Relax. Everything's fine.
Fine? Are you out of your mind?
Oh, please, contain yourself, Andrew.
I most certainly will not. And I'm not spending another moment in this madhouse. I will fetch the police from the village immediately.
I don't think that would be wise, sir.
Are you threatening me?
Perish the thought, sir. I'm merely pointing out the folly of driving these roads in the dark.
And besides, we may need the car if Eddie's condition worsens.
The insane brat can jump off the roof for all I care. I, for one, will rather risk my life out there than in here.
Leave, then. And before you even think of telling anyone what happened here, just remember who you are dealing with. And yes, you may consider that a threat. Angus, kindly help me with young Eddie.
Careful now, just take it slowly. I'm sorry I didn't believe you.
Science took a beating tonight.
After seeing what happened here, I think even Dr. Freud would agree with you.
The mirror. I think it's some kind of dark force, an ancient evil summoned by the Druids.
And they lost control over it.
I believe they never had control.
I need to check up on Eddie and make sure he's all right.
Have you forgotten that he tried to kill you?
So, I'll be careful then. He's a person in need, no matter what he did.
My father tried to destroy the mirror, to end the evil, but he failed. Now he's trapped in there.
Are you talking about his soul?
If that's what you want to call it. All I know is... we have to find a way to free him. Edward knew of the mirror. He may have even understood its power.
So we know what it is, but not where.
It's underground. Somewhere. Reaching it, well, that's the real conundrum.
And how not to end up like your father.
This is Edward's lair. And Margaret was none too eager on us prying.
So we should pry.
Indeed.